Let's go back to London now to find out the latest from the parliamentary inquiry into phone hacking. Our Europe correspondent Phil Williams had been watching this closely. And Labor MP Tom Watson has raised the spectre of the mafia in his questioning of News International chief James Murdoch. Phil, what's he been talking about?
Yes, it's got very up close and personal, and it comes from a man who has been the most vociferous critic of News International over a number of years. And it's personal because just a couple of days ago it was revealed that News International, or News of the World, through a private investigator, had tailed him, had put him under surveillance, as they had a number of other people. You'd have to ask why, and what was that because they wanted to get a story? Was that because they wanted to discredit him? Either way, it's added fuel to this fire, and here's how he questioned James Murdoch just a couple of minutes ago.
You're familiar with the word mafia?
Yes, Mr. Watson.
Have you ever heard the term omerta, the mafia term they use for the code of silence?
I'm not an aficionado of such things.
Would you agree that it means a group of people who are bound together by secrecy, who together pursue their group's business objectives with no regard for the law, using intimidation, corruption and general criminality? I'm not familiar with the term particularly. I've heard it vaguely. Would you agree with with me that this is an accurate description of News International in the UK?
Absolutely not. I think that's a very, I frankly think that's offensive, and it's not true.
There are allegations of phone hacking, computer hacking, conspiring to pervert the course of justice, perjury facing this company, and all this happened without your knowledge.
As I've said to you, Mr. Watson, and to this committee on a number of occasions, it is a matter of great regret that things went wrong at the News of the World in 2006. The company didn't come to grips with those issues fast enough. I think we all recognize that. And I've also acknowledged that evidence to this committee was given without full possession of the facts in the past. And that's something that I'm very sorry for. What I can tell you, though, is that when evidence came to light and when we finally achieved the transparency that is appropriate, we have acted, and the company has acted, with great zeal and diligence to get to the bottom of issues, to improve the processes to make sure they don't happen again, and to make sure that our cooperation with the police, with this committee, and the like, are such that we can bring any wrongdoers, if they are proven to be so, to account.
Mr. Murdoch, you must be the first mafia boss in history who didn't know he was running a criminal enterprise.
Mr. Watson, please. I think that's inappropriate. Mr. Chairman.
Phil Williams, James Murdoch at least acknowledges things went wrong, but he does seem to have a talent for understatement.
He certainly does, but Tom Watson certainly doesn't. Putting it directly to him in very colourful terms, perhaps not useful in terms of eliciting vital information, and this is the last chance they'll get to talk to him because the committee is probably going to wrap up very shortly and present its report. It's limited in some respects because there are ongoing police investigations. They can't ask all the people all the questions they want to. So this is the last throw.
Just very briefly to round up, the one concession they did screw out of James Murdoch earlier was a concession that the company itself had a tendency to react to criticisms and allegations in a hostile manner.
Yes, he said that we acted aggressively too quickly. We didn't look deeply enough into the actual substance of the allegations. Effectively, he's saying we reacted in a knee-jerk way, and he's sorry for that. But obviously there are still many questions to be answered, and whether they get to them all today is highly unlikely. And these are MPs, these are not journalists, these are not police asking these questions. Some of the questioning is not exactly forensic, but for the moment he's still giving evidence as we speak, and it'll be very interesting to see how this day ends up.
Phil Williams, we'll obviously see you again tomorrow talking about this. Thanks very much for being there.
Thank you.